Torah portion just might prove the adage, idle hands or the devil's workshop, to be very much true. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 3 of the Torah portion, Shelach Lecha. Let's continue now in the book of Numbers, or Bimidbar, chapter number 13. Read about the return of the tourists who thought themselves spies. In verse 25 and following, it says, "And they returned from spying out the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Moshe and Aaron, all the congregation of the children of Israel in the wilderness of Paran in Kadesh. And they brought back word to them and to all the congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. And they reported to him and said, We went to the land where you sent us. Truly it flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. But the people who dwell in the land are strong, and the cities are walled, very great, and we saw the descendants of the Anak there too. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, while the Hittites, the Jebusites, and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and along the banks of the Jordan." It says in chapter 14, verse 1, "And then all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried, and the people wept that night." Got a question. These tourists that were they were supposed to be tourists. They thought themselves spies. They spent 40 days, that's a month and 10 days, in the land, touring the land, looking over the land, collecting the fruit of the land, and returning back. 40 days. What were the people doing during those 40 days? Constantly watching the horizon and seeing if the guys were coming back home? Excuse me. What should they have been doing? Well, if they were a people of belief, if they believed that Yah had brought them out of Mitzrayim to bring them in to their inheritance, if they believed the earlier commands that Yah says, "I'm going to drive out the adversaries before you," knowing that they'd already had to fight the Amalekites on one occasion, at least, I would think that for 40 days, they might have been preparing themselves. Maybe the men could take whatever weaponry they had and sharpen it. Maybe they would pack up some things and be ready to move. They would maybe be doing something, fashioning extra leather coverings or something for a breastplate of some sort. I don't know. I would have thought that they might be engaged in the productivity and activity of preparation for moving into the land. That's the mindset that says, let's go. Instead, it seems like that they were waiting to see what the report might be. Well, let's just wait and see how this turns out. Maybe we'll go in, maybe we won't. It all depends on what these guys say. Kind of brings me to a place where in current trends of things, we have hopes, ambitions, promises, prophecies. We have declared words of Yah that say to us that the kingdom is coming, Messiah is returning. We have preached for decades now about this greater exodus and how that we're going to be moving into the land. And some would have us going in next week. Some would have us going in maybe in our lifetime, and some maybe in the next generation or two. If we're going in, and I know that we are, and I believe with all of my being that we are, I absolutely believe that Yeshua, our Messiah, is returning. And I pray fervently that it be in our lifetime. Should we not be in the process of preparation, not waiting for another negative report about who's doing what that is going to put us all in some kind of a camp, or we need to hide in a bunker, or we're all going to starve to death and they're going to take all of our money away, and another pandemic is coming, and it's going to be worse than the last one, and it's going to be a nail in our coffin. All of the stuff. How many people have had hope and had heart and were preparing and were encouraged and walking joyfully, only to hear the next theory or conversation or report and throw up their hands in despair and say it's not even worth trying? How many times has, quote unquote, revival has broke out, and there is this gathering of hearts and minds, and worship breaks out, and the trend starts, and I believe that these are indeed moves of God most often. Yah is moving in our midst and trying to draw his people back to himself. Of course, man wants to schedule and put parameters around it, and when he does that, these things fade away. But we hear about the next revival and we get all enthused, and maybe we travel halfway across, the planet somewhere to get engaged in it, to be touched by it, only to come away and it fade away. What do? What should a believer in Messiah Yeshua be doing right here, right now, to demonstrate, Father, my heart is anticipating your soon return, that Messiah Yeshua is coming and bringing his kingdom, and that we pray for that? Well, number one, we pray for that coming. We cry, as the end of the book of Revelation suggests that we do so, "Come, Messiah, even so, come quickly." And we might say, well, we know that he's coming, so we don't really have to pray that he comes. No, but we pray and ask that he come in our day, and ask that he hasten his appearing. Yeshua said that unless the Father would shorten the days, even the very elect would be deceived. So if there is then this suggestion to us to shorten this day, Father, shorten the day, hasten the appearing. Now, as we pray that, we should also keep in mind that it may then suggest an intensifying of world events in order to produce that ultimate reality. So as we pray that, we have to be willing to bear up under whatever the circumstances are. After we've prayed, it is up to us to demonstrate a couple of commodities that are in short supply in this earth, in our world, and in our community. Number one is the commodity called joy. A joyful heart goes a long, long way. Well, Barry, I've been disappointed. I've been frustrated. I've been disillusioned. I get that. I have too at times. But I refuse to give up on joy. I'm not going to let go of Yeshua, and I'm not going to let go of the joy of my salvation and my deliverance. So put a smile on your face, brighten your eyes, open your heart up, and ask for the spirit of joy. The fruit of the Spirit, the fruits of the Spirit include the spirit of joy. Ask for that fruit to be demonstrated and resilient in your heart and life, because people that are around you need to see that, which is then closely related to the second commodity, and that is hope. The hopeless are living all around us. They work around us. They are in our family. They're in our congregations. People have just given up hope because of all of the whatever is going on in the world. Have hope and express that hope. And keep your eyes on the prize that is before you and on the horizon. Yeshua is the one that is returning. He's bringing a great report. And that's the report that we're trusted in. We'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, shalom.